Welcome to our study about stop sign compliance. This study was performed during the fall 2022 semester at Purdue University Northwest by Alex, Jillian, and Dakota. Anyone who commutes to our Hammond campus knows that parking situation is less than ideal. We think it is important to bring awareness to the hazards that can be caused by vehicular congestion, as well as pedestrian traffic. We decided we would conduct an observational study to learn more about how PNW drivers behave in our parking lots. After narrowing down our observation zone to the stop sign outside the JITE building, we got to work choosing our research variables. We decided that time of day and vehicle type would be our independent variables. We also hypothesized that sedans would fail to stop more than SUV vehicles, and that all drivers would fail to stop more often in the morning. We want to educate and enlighten our students about the reality of the dangers in our parking lots, especially for pedestrians. Making our campus safer should be the goal of all students, staff, and anyone who visits campus regularly. We hope that our data will convince the PNW community that action needs to be taken to make our parking lots and crosswalks safer. Before conducting our research, we explored the research that already exists on our subject matter. We found several studies that examined how different variables impact the likelihood that a driver will comply with a traffic law. One study we looked into indicated that motorists are more likely to yield to a stop sign when more pedestrians are around. We also explored possible solutions to our stop sign compliance problem. One of those might be the implementation of flashing LED lights, which have been proven to increase stopping behavior. We hoped that we would see the influence of the presence of pedestrians reflected in our data. We observed a total of 153 participants, whom we estimate fall between the ages of 18 and 65. Our participants were likely a mixture of students, professors, other campus employees, or visitors. The gender and racial demographics of our participants were likely similar to that of PNW as a whole. All of our participants were unaware they were being observed to the best of our knowledge. We used a pen and paper to collect our data, and SPSS to do our data analysis. All 153 data entries were recorded at the same stop sign, the one directly in front of the JITE building. During our low-traffic morning hours of around 8 to 12 p.m., we observed 74 participants. During our high-traffic afternoon hours of around 12 to 4 p.m., we observed 79 participants. We recorded the car that each participant drove and categorized it as a sedan or an SUV. We also recorded whether or not they stopped at the stop sign. To operationally define stopping in the context of our experiment, we chose to only categorize a driver as a stop if they stopped for 2 seconds, as counted by saying, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Categorical nature of our variables, we decided to use 2 chi-square statistical tests in SPSS to compute and analyze our data. These tests came back showing that no statistically significant correlations exist between stopping behavior and vehicle type or stopping behavior and time of day, at least in the PNW parking lot. Neither our hypothesis that sedans would fail to stop more often, nor our hypothesis that drivers would fail to stop more often in the morning was supported by our data. In the figure on the right, a bar graph shows the tabulation of stopping behavior in the morning and the afternoon, with the red bar indicating those who stopped, and the blue bar representing those who did not stop. This graphic alone makes it clear that most PNW drivers do not adequately comply with the stop sign in front of the JITE building. Although neither of our hypotheses were confirmed by the data, we do think that our study produced some meaningful insight into the driving behaviors of PNW students. One of our most important takeaways from our research has been that not enough PNW drivers comply with posted stop signs. Among all vehicles during all times of day, we found that the likelihood that a PNW driver will comply with a stop sign is only around 28%. This number is startlingly low. This means that more research must be done to investigate how PNW campus safety officials can make our parking lots safer. While none of our correlations were statistically significant, we did notice that small differences between groups did occur. Sedan drivers had a slightly lower overall compliance rate than SUV drivers, and the compliance rate in the afternoon was slightly higher. However, because these results are not statistically significant, we cannot attribute the small differences we measured to actual differences between groups. As researchers in training, we acknowledge that many sources of error may have impacted the results of our study. In particular, car categorization proved more difficult than we had originally anticipated. Not only did we struggle with the definition of sports car, we also had trouble finding any in our parking lots. Our decision to widen our vehicle categories was practical given our circumstances. However, this categorical simplification could have made us less likely to find significant results. While our group did operationally define stopping as a 2-second stop, some differences may have occurred in how each observer counted and categorized while collecting our data. This means that our study could suffer from having low inter-rater reliability. Additionally, the nature of our research required that we select a non-probability sample, limiting the generalizability of our results.